Republicans love Donald Trump more than any president's own party supporters loved him at this particular point. Just take a look here. Okay, own party supporters, 21st century presidents, own party approval about at this point in the second term. Bush was at 77%. Obama was at 77%. Look at this. 86% of Republicans approve of the job that Donald Trump is doing at this point. That is higher than either Obama or Bush had within their own party at this point. Trump's magic touch has not seen a war off yet when it comes to the Republican base.
And what kind of approval are we talking about here?
Okay, so we're talking about overall approval here. How about the strongly approved, not just like, but love. Okay, we're going to look at these same presidents again. Strong approval among your own party's base. What you see here is Trump is the only one who gets a majority at this point in their presidency. Obama was at 48%. Bush was at 47%. You see here Trump at 53%. Not as high as his overall approval rating, but still getting a majority of the Republican base, at least in the average of polls, to say that they still really, really, really like him.
Joining us now is Senior Editor-at-Large at Newsweek, Josh Hammer, and Signal Principal and pollster Nick Weinstein. Thank you both so much for joining us. Let's talk about Operation Epic Fury and the polling around this. A Fox News poll found that voters are split on military action against Iran, and most see the country as, of course, being Iran a serious security threat. This Fox News poll found that 61% of Americans believe that Iran poses a real national security threat to the United States. Nick, what's your assessment, and what are the polls telling you about how Americans are responding to this operation?
I think it's a little bit early to say for sure what the political implications of this strike are going to be. What's certainly clear is that in the lead up to this, the liberals on the left have spent a ton of time and energy ginning up this feeling that, a war against Iran would lead to, catastrophe for the American people in the Middle East. And, Americans are by and large focused on domestic issues. But from the very limited early polling that I've seen, this is at the very least a net break-even issue for President Trump. And this is at a time when President Trump's, job approval ratings have hovered in the low 40s for a while now. So I think he will take a break-even issue for now when it comes to the war in Iran. And I have a feeling if they continue to prosecute the war the way that they have over the last week plus, and get out of the Middle East having achieved their aims, are going to make the Democrats look really foolish. And I think ultimately the American people are going to embrace the action that they've taken.
Now, some of the Democrats already are looking very foolish, aren't they, Josh? I mean, we've heard from Hakeem Jeffries, who claims to know how the war is going to end, saying that it's going to fail. Just back on the polling for a minute, another poll, a CNN poll, found that Republicans overwhelmingly back the strikes in Iran. This poll found that 77% of Republicans approve of the military action and 58% believe that it will reduce the threat from Iran. But it's interesting, Josh, we're not really hearing that from some even right-wing podcasters, are we?
Yeah, Gabrielle, I think two higher level points to make here. One is that the polling is very interesting, and I a personal bit of a polling nerd myself, and I love firms like Signal.poll for sure. I'm just saying that when it comes to this particular operation, I don't think Donald Trump is necessarily looking at the polls, to be very candid with you. I don't think that he expected this to be an 80-20 or a 90-10 issue. There's plenty of issues for that. There's biological men competing in women's sports. There's deporting criminal aliens, gangbangers, rapists, Mahmoud Khalil, people like that. There's plenty of low-hanging 80-20 or 90-10 political fruit. I don't think that Trump necessarily cares here, because he is doing this for the very simple reason that he thinks that it is the right thing to do. Period, full stop, end of story. There are some people saying that Donald Trump campaigned against ending forever wars, and so he did. But paradoxically, contrary to what you hear from those same folks there, in my judgment, he's actually seeking to end the forever war that's been 47 years and running from the Islamic Republic of Iran against the United States, a regime that was literally founded on the U.S. Embassy seizure back in 1979. It was founded on anti-American hatred there, and he's seeking to finally bring this seemingly interminable war to an end. I will say one interesting tidbit, though, about the polling, because to your point, Gabriella, you're alluding to people like Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, some of these loud voices who have been very, very skeptical. And the media is portraying this as a MAGA civil war, the same way that they did last summer during the Operation Midnight Hammer, the B-2 bombing run. Well, funny enough, back then, the CBS News had a poll that showed that MAGA Republicans back then were 94% approving of Donald Trump's B-2 bombing run in Midnight Hammer. And this time around, according to all the polls that I've seen, self-described MAGA Republicans support Trump's actions at an even higher rate, upwards of 20 to 30 points higher than, let's call them, normie country club Republicans there. So this notion that the MAGA base is revolting against Trump for the second Iran military action in a row is completely belied by the data that we have there. But ultimately, as I said earlier, I'm not sure that Trump is looking at the polls for this one there. I think he's doing this because he genuinely actually believes that this is the right thing to do.